Living Matters is a podcast that delves into the profound experiences of people living with incurable illnesses. Co-hosted by me, Sarah Harrison, founder of Sarah's Star.
And me, Nikki Thackeray, founder of My Zen Days. The podcast talks about life, death, and everything in between. So if you're suffering with incurable illness or you know someone who is, then come and join us for our conversations.
Welcome to this brand new episode of Living Matters podcast. I'm Nikki Thackeray, founder of My Zen Days, and I'm with the gorgeous Sarah. Say hello.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back.
And we would like to introduce you today to Jack. Jack, will you introduce yourself? We've invited you for a very special purpose, but please do introduce yourself.
I will. So I'm Jack Forster-Darwin, and I'm a training specialist with Paxman Scalp Cooling.
Okay, so let's start there then. So what is scalp cooling?
So scalp cooling is something that people may or may not decide to do. So when you are undergoing chemotherapy, you can decide to scalp cool. And scalp cooling is just one of the many options offered to people at the start of their chemotherapy journey. And the aim of scalp cooling is to reduce the impact of chemotherapy-induced alopecia, to promote regrowth of the hair after treatment, and also to help mitigate the potential long-term side effect of persistent chemotherapy-induced alopecia.
Do you know, it's really interesting you're saying that, because what popped into my head was, can this be used for people who have alopecia?
So it's just for the chemotherapy-induced alopecia, because what it does is it protects the hair follicles whilst patients are undergoing treatment. So the cryotherapy, that helps protect the hair follicles, which is why they come back quicker afterwards as well.
And I'm now living proof of that.
Exactly.
Because first time round, I didn't have the cold cap because I was worried I was going to be there for ages. I think I created in my head that it was going to be really traumatizing just being there for hours and hours. I think in your head, you make it into a day, because we even called it chemo day. So in your mind, you're like, I'm going to be there the whole day long. And it takes a little bit extra with the cooling cap. So
it does, yeah.
It's around about an hour before and then an hour afterwards. Am I right? Or is it half an hour before?
So it depends on the treatment that you're having, and it depends on your hair type as well.
Oh.
So if somebody has really thick hair, they'll need slightly longer. So it's half an hour or 45 minutes if you've got really thick hair. Then you work for the duration of your treatment. And then the time afterwards, again, that depends on your treatment. So if you're having something called docetaxel, single agent, it's 20 minutes. If you're having weekly single agent paclitaxel, it's 60 minutes. And then for any other single or any other combination regime, it's 90 minutes.
Okay.
So the minimum it adds on is, quick maths, 50 minutes, and the maximum is 2 hours and a quarter.
Okay.
I think that's right.
And I think it's not that bad, because there's other things going on anyway when you're getting prepped for it and all that. So I actually not enjoyed the process, but was quite fascinated by the whole thing. Because I've made such a direct decision the first time. I was like, I'm not adding that time. I'm just not doing it.
Yeah.
And then second time around, the kids were older. That was a big thing for them. And I think for me as well, I don't think I ever thought I was going to lose my hair again. So, and true to form, it was my favourite ever hairstyle that I had ever had in my entire life. And my sister was just like, typical. Yeah, that's just what would happen to you.
Yeah.
So, and this time was different too, because I think I jumped ship really quickly first time around. I shaved it after about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And this time, this is really sad, but I feel quite proud of my son for doing this. I was wearing like this fringe hairband and not paying any attention to what was going on in the back. And my son came and said, Mum, it's really affecting me watching your hair fall out.
Wow.
And then when I looked at the back, I was like one of the witches, like Michelle Pfeiffer. It was like butts, like you could really see my scalp, but I was just focusing on this.
Because that was all you could see, yeah.
It was a real... But I thought, Charlie just came in and lay on my bed. He was like, can I talk to you about something? And he was like, I'm finding it really hard.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm really glad you came and said, because I also thought there's loads of adults around me. No one's saying,
here,
anything. Look at the back of your head.
Yeah.
You're a holy show.
Yeah. Kids for that. But so why did you not want the cold? Is it cold cap or cool cap?
Cold cap, cool cap, scalp cooling. It's
right.
our website is coldcap.com, but people call it coldcap, coolcap, scalp cooling. Lots of different.
All right, okay. So you didn't want, you decided against it the first time, right?
The first time I decided against it.
Why?
I just, in my head, it created that it was going to add hours onto it. And
So it wasn't anything to do with how it would feel or anything like that. It was just that it was going to be inconvenient, you thought.
I didn't take it into consideration.
Right.
Anything about that. It just went for the
time.
Yeah. And I think that was 2017. And I don't know if statistics have changed or if people have just changed their mind about it, but I think I really felt, it might not work anyway.
Yeah.
And I just think maybe that was just me as well, and myself thinking it's easier to set yourself up for a fail, isn't it, than to then feel let down if it doesn't happen. But now, so that was when I had docetaxel and I didn't have it, and then I had paclitaxel recently, and I decided I would give it a go. And there were so many things about it that I found really interesting. I actually liked the cool feeling. Like someone said to me, it's like brain freeze, but it isn't. It wasn't for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt really like if you had a migraine or a headache, I was a bit like, I bet you this would really help that. And I do think it just took the focus off what was going on. And the thing that bothered me was there was 2 bits at the front that I felt were sticking under my head. But in reality, when I look back at that, I think I focused on that. And that is all I focused on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rather than getting bogged down with anything. And I took a photo of myself and sent it to my family because I was laughing at my little cap. I was like, look at me, I'm like a jockey, or I'm, going on for the scrum and rugby type of thing. And it's that humour of what's really happening.
Mm.
But it really upset my family because I think when I look back, you kind of look a little bit like a little kid. You're a little
sitting there
on.
with it really, with it kind of tight and around your face. But with you saying about family, that's such a big motivator for people. That would be my motivation for doing it for my son. And there's lots of different motivations why people would do it, giving yourself a degree of privacy, a degree of control. And like you say, when you're looking at yourself in the mirror, you can see yourself and you see yourself all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You get in the car, there's your mirror there, you pick up your phone, you see yourself in the phone. It's not, and you were saying earlier about kind of vanity and people worrying about that side of things. There's such a huge significance to hair, a cultural, religious significance to hair as well, that people don't necessarily think about, and it's incredibly traumatizing, or it can be incredibly traumatizing for people to lose hair, and not just for them, and like you say, for family as well to process that.
So how effective is it?
The main 4 factors that influence retention and the efficacy are the drug and the dose, which unfortunately we can't control, and the individual biological response, which again we can't control, but we can control getting a good cap fit and adhering to the correct timings as well.
Mm-hmm.
So on average, 56% of patients will keep at least half the hair. That's across all regimes. But then it depends, like I say, very much on the drug and the dosage. On our website, coldcap.com, we've got an outcomes calculator. So people can actually input the drug and the dosage, and it will show them the percentage chance that they have of keeping half the hair. So with you saying about managing expectations and not setting yourself up for a fail, it's really important for everybody to kind of go into this with your eyes open and aware of what's going to happen. And obviously that is an average, so some people might keep slightly more, some people might keep slightly less. But for some people, it might be the regrowth that's more of a thing, because it, that sense of positivity of, like you were saying, my hair's coming back so much more quickly now.
Yeah, and I'm fascinated by this. And every time I see Nikki, she's like, look how much more there is.
I know.
And it's that. And it's, I don't know, it's been like really quite joyous, to be honest with you. And I do put it down to the differences. I used cold cap this time. I know I chose to shave my head. I don't think it was going to all fall out. And I did that because obviously it was affecting Charlie. And that's okay. I was happy to do that. But it wasn't coming out massive clumps. There was no real, it was strands on that, and it had really thinned, but it didn't completely fall out. I think I need to be quite clear with that. I'm not saying it didn't work. because for me it did.
Yeah.
Especially because first time around it took my hair a really long time to grow for it to come back at all. And I used to go to the hairdresser and be like, when is my hair going to grow? And she'd be like, I don't know why you keep, like, me and Chelsea have bonded so much
Of course,
because
yeah.
she would trim my wigs for me and all of that. And then I used to go and be like, what can you do? And she's like, nothing. I keep telling you need to let it grow. And I'd be like, but I look like a Lego man. Do something. And she'd just stand and laugh at me. And I think that's important as well.
Yeah.
And even that relationship of going to your hairdresser, sitting having a cuppa, you know. And when I went on this time to have I had 2 wigs, and she was trimming them, and a lady came in and she was asking me loads of questions, and it turned out she had a recent diagnosis.
Yeah.
And I thought that was actually a really nice moment for me to be able to help someone with something that I think they didn't even recognise that they might potentially need.
Yeah.
You know, a few months down the line. So I'm really, really loving my little soft baby hair at the minute.
I think you look beautiful.
Oh,
Same.
I love it.
Same.
So who should be thinking about this, and when should they be thinking about it?
So we have really good patient information. So ideally we would, and these are available for hospitals, for nurses to order. They're also available online. So people can download them when they go on our website and have a look. But they can have a look at this information and start making the decision about whether scalp cooling is going to be right for them. So it isn't necessarily going to be offered for every treatment. That's kind of up to individual hospitals to decide who they might offer it to.
Oh, okay.
But we would always say, you know, if you're informed and you can make an informed decision, ideally before you go in for your chemotherapy, because if you get there on the first day of treatment and think, oh, I'd quite like for that, you might not be ready for it. You might not have the bits and bobs that we would say, you know, things like a headband to stop the marks on your head, to make it more comfortable. You might not have a blanket or nice fluffy socks to stop you feeling cold. Just little hints and tips like that you can pick up from the literature. So normally in the patient talks, the nurses will mention it as an option, as a possibility. And then there's our first one, does go through, help me decide, should I scalp cool? So that's there, and that just talks through, is it right for me? The realities of it, committing to it, about being ready to decide, the outcomes calculator, there's a link to that in there as well. So it's that, you know, these are really powerful tools to help people make that decision and open up the conversation.
Well, the good thing I like about it is that now you're saying that even if your hair has fallen out, still wear the cooling cap.
Yep. Because
it helps with regrowth.
Yes, definitely.
And for me now, I can totally shout about that and say that's a really important thing for people to do.
It's something positive to look forward to 3 months down the line, 12 weeks down the line.
Yeah.
It's just another element of, okay, well, when all this is finished, I might look like I used to look a little bit sooner than otherwise.
Yeah.
And, you know, you're testament to that. And we've got lots of people who get in touch with us and say, do you know what? My hair's come back so quickly. Within 12 weeks, I look like me again.
Yeah.
And okay, I lost my hair during treatment, but actually I look okay now. And I feel okay. So it's not just looking after people. It's caring. It's that wider caring for people that's why I wanted to work for Paxman and why I wanted to help people, really. That was a big thing.
Yeah, because I think a huge part of it is looking sick.
That
was something that bothered me throughout all of it.
And this is something that we're trying to educate people about, the risks of something called persistent alopecia. So this is where the hair might not come back after treatment. And up to 30% of people on certain regimes are at risk of persistent alopecia.
That's a lot.
It really is. It really surprises me. And scalp cooling helps mitigate that risk quite significantly. And I think, again, it's just about people being aware that this could happen and having that option and having that choice. There's a lady who is on Instagram who suffers from PCIA, and she talks about still getting the head tilt and that, are you okay? And she's like, I'm absolutely fine. I'm absolutely fine, but I still look ill.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine how difficult that must be 7, 8, 15, 20 years after diagnosis.
Yeah. I don't like that. I don't cope with a head tilt.
Yeah.
Like, I like giving out a lot of empathy.
Yeah.
Not getting it. I don't do so well with that.
Yeah.
So when someone starts,
I'm out the door.
When someone starts to tilt, you go,
They've just gone a few, and I'm like, ah.
see ya, done.
we don't go there. So can I understand, how does it actually work?
So the cap itself.
I love that Jack has brought some.
Oh, they're always in my.
I'll model if you want.
I can
Or do you
pop
want
it
to
on
model?
myself? I can pop it on you. But I have these in my boot, so I have them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And when I go to football games with my little boy, one of his friends said, "What are they? What on earth are they?"
So you're educating everyone.
Exactly. And when I started with Paxman, obviously I had the caps, and I thought, well, I'm going to be meeting people and I'm going to be putting the caps on them. So every single one of my friends has had a cap on them. They've been sized. They know what size they are. They know.
But I love that because the nurses in North Tyneside, where I go, the majority of them said they tried it.
Yeah.
Just to understand what it felt like for us as patients. And I really appreciated that. I thought that's really...
It's
really
something
nice.
that I will always say when I'm doing a training session in a hospital. I will always say, have you tried it on? And some nurses will say, yeah, I've done it. I can talk to people about it. And some go, no, I can't do it. And they're always the ones that say, come here, give me your head. And pop it on.
It's alien-like, isn't it?
It is a little bit. So how it works is there's a system. It's a mobile compact refrigeration unit. Exactly. And you connect the cap to it. And what happens is the coolant within the system flows into the cap, around the cap, and back out the cap. And what it does is the cap itself is between -3 and -5. So it is cold. And what it does is the aim is to lower the temperature of the scalp to between 18 and 22 degrees. So like a spring day. That's what I say to people. Obviously, it's slightly colder.
That's a false sense of security.
Does it feel like a spring day?
Feels like a winter day.
It doesn't feel like a spring day. No.
Winter in Iceland.
Yeah. There's 4 main biological mechanisms that happen during the cryotherapy. So the first one is vasoconstriction. So when things get cold, they shrink. So you've got 20 to 40% of the blood flow going around the scalp. And obviously, if you've got less blood, there's less drugs. So there's less exposure to the chemotherapy for the hair follicles. The second one is reduced cell division. So your hair follicles are the second fastest growing cells within our body. They spend 90% of their time in rapid growth phase, which they behave just like a cancer cell, just like a tumor cell, which is why chemotherapy drugs target the hair follicles. And as we cool them down, we slow them down so they don't divide as quickly. The third one is there's reduced drug uptake into the cell. So the processes like active transport and diffusion, they slow down. They're much less effective, which means that the drugs can't penetrate the cell as easily. And the fourth one is reduced metabolic activity within the cell because of the cold. So the drugs aren't as effective in the cold. So that's what helps preserve the hair follicles. It's a combination of those 4. We don't know which is the main one, but it's a kind of a combination of those 4. So people often say, "Oh, you're freezing the hair follicles," and that's how it works. And it's like,
kind of,
but no, but kind of, and that's how it works.
So is it painful?
I didn't find it painful. It's uncomfortable at the beginning, but you really
10,
feel the
15
water,
minutes.
water rushing in, and then it getting colder. But I actually found it refreshing because I think I was maybe feeling a little bit hot and bothered. So also it was the summer.
Yeah.
So that makes a huge difference. But I'd gone overly prepared, and my friend Jolene got me hand warmers. So they're like, you plug them in and charge them, and then they were great.
Yeah.
So I was totally ready with all my stuff, my fluffy
ready
socks,
there.
my blanket. I was like, get all these off me. I'm actually enjoying this cold. I didn't find it painful. It was a little bit refreshing, to be honest, in the end. But what made me laugh was when they said, "Oh, just sit for a while when we've unplugged it, in case your hair snaps." And there was icicles on my hair,
Yeah.
and I found that quite amusing. And I didn't think
on your
there was little icicles on my hair, yeah. And it's in that because if you look at the shape, so it's in them kind of like lines,
The ridges.
in the grooves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And what they do is they comb through your hair with conditioner,
Right.
and then they advise not to wash your hair until, is it the next day or the day after? I can't remember. Around 24 hours, was it?
So the reason that there's conditioner on is you wet the hair because that helps smooth the hair down, gets rid of any insulative air pockets. Try saying that with a stammer. Insulative air pockets. And just kind of reduces the volume of the hair. And then just a blob of conditioner, smooth it down, centre parting, just so you've got the access to the top of the head. And the water helps improve conductivity of the cold, so it helps the heat transfer. And the conditioner just acts as a lubricant, so you can take the cap on and off. But like you were saying, sometimes when you're just starting to take the cap off, you can obviously, because there's water on the head, and this has been -4, you can, there's sometimes a bit of ice on the inside of the cap, and it doesn't mean it's worked, it doesn't mean it hasn't worked, it's not a sign of anything. It's just sometimes it's like, that it's cold.
Does it kind of feel like someone's holding ice packs on your head?
No.
After about 10 to 15 minutes,
You just settle into it. It's
you get used to it. And like you were saying, a blanket, a cup of tea, like I mentioned, fluffy socks. And if people are worrying about it being painful, you can have painkillers. Check with the healthcare professionals about that. But you can have painkillers before the treatment. But I think it's 6% of people get headaches. But we'd always recommend...
At the time or afterwards?
At the time. But we'd always recommend some sort of forehead protection, something just to protect the forehead, because the medium cap fits me like a dream. I've just got a perfect shaped head for a medium cap. But it does kind of come down here a little bit. So I would just need just a headband on, or a little bit of gauze or cotton wool just under the front of the cap to help make it.
Because I forgot my headband. They did tell me to bring one. And then they put gauze in where I had forgotten. But it was interesting to me. I had a medium-sized, but then the little cap that you wear over the top of it, that was small for me. I needed, and it was to keep it secured.
Yeah.
That little bit better.
Yeah.
And it worked quite well.
So the outer cap, it helps hold the inner cap in place. So what you're looking for is close, consistent contact. So 3 C's over the full scalp. So is it close? Is it consistent? Does it fit everywhere? And obviously the contact is the contact there. They're the things that that people need to really think about. If the cap's too small when it's on, there'll be a little bit of bounce on top of the cap, so there'll be a space in between the cap and the scalp. If it's too big, it'll wobble around a little bit, and you're able to fit a bent hand up the back of the cap. As well as that, people just need to check how much hairline is it covering. So because of the shape of the cap, the area here is unprotected, and as well, it can be just a little bit further down the back of the neck as well. So again, like we were saying earlier, just about managing expectations and going into it with your eyes open, that as long as you've got a good cap fit, should be fairly uniform. It's
really positive having all this information.
Good.
It's really nice, but I did wonder, is there forums for people, do you know of any online that people can go on and have a chat, or within your website, is there an area?
So we've got a patient Facebook support group, Paxman Scalp Cooling, and that's monitored by us. So we answer questions on there. People talk in there about hints and tips, share success stories, or ask for help if they're having a bit of a down day with however they're feeling. So that's a really, really good avenue of support. Coldcap.com, we've got searchable, frequently asked questions. So again, people can go on there and have a look. We also link with lots of advocacy groups, local charities. We visit them, and if they've got any questions, they can get in touch with us. But the Facebook group is a really useful area of support.
Yeah, and if you're monitoring that, it means there's nothing sliding in that
Exactly.
is a myth.
Exactly.
You get a lot of that, don't you?
Exactly. People think, I saw something on TikTok and it's gospel.
Yeah, because I like the positive side of these things. I'm really looking to find what's good about it and how we can help to promote these things. So when it comes to dyeing your hair, drying your hair, all of that kind of stuff, what are the do's and don'ts for people?
So one of the big do's is to brush your hair really gently, like using a wide tooth comb or a detangling brush. That's really important, because if the hair has started to shed a little bit, obviously, you're going to need to brush that out. Be really gentle when washing hair. So we would say at least once every 10 days, but no more than twice a week. On our website, there's a really good section for resources, so people can have a look at which shampoos they can use, which conditioners they can use. It's anything sulfate-free, paraben-free, fragrance-free, and hypoallergenic.
Brilliant.
It sounds really complicated, but there's a lot of options there.
Oh, good.
Unfortunately, no hair dryers, heated styling tools, just because it's going to make the hair slightly brittle, and we want to be really gentle with the hair. And dyeing hair, we would say wait until the hair started to come back, kind of normally within about 12 weeks after treatment.
Okay.
To be able to start dyeing the hair.
I can imagine feeling really worried about brushing hair.
Conscious.
Yeah, just worried about brushing hair in case
you're pulling it out.
Yeah.
Or there was a teenage and young adult patient who I helped support recently, and they were really worried about brushing their hair, and the mum was saying to me she doesn't want to brush their hair, and I had to say, would you? Would you want to brush your hair? And it, when you're so conscious about it coming out, but it's so important to just be really gentle with it, but do brush it just to help. Everybody's hair cycle is kind of a 2 to 3 week hair cycle, apparently. So it's completely natural for everybody to shed a little bit, and that's completely natural. And of course, people are going to worry about it more. I would be the exact same, but it is really important to brush hair. Yeah,
because if you ended up with like it matted, because I can see not wanting to brush it, and
100%.
I even tried to wait a little bit longer after the cold cap, thinking, oh well, if I just leave it, maybe it'll be fine for it. So I would maybe try and stretch it out for another 24 hours, but then, because of the way it was sitting and it was making it kind of go in a zigzaggy, then I started thinking, if that gets matted, it's just it's gonna really pull it out.
Yeah.
So it is interesting what goes through your head with these things. And I think what's really important to say is we're all only human, and hair is such a big part of your life.
Very much so.
For everyone, I don't think anyone should ever feel ashamed or like they're being vain or anything like that, because
definitely not.
I think it can actually be your personality in a sense at times. Your hair, I always played with my hair. I would have been doing something, and then I went through a phase of at nighttime I would just sit and I'd put it up and my sister would laugh because we went and stayed in a hotel. She's like, "What are you doing now?" And I'd have it like here, or I'd have a bit here, and then we knew I was starting treatment, and then that made her really sad because it made her really laugh at me with my stupid random bits of ponytails somewhere. She was like, "You're not going to be able to sit and play with your hair on a nighttime anymore." Yeah. But you quickly just obviously find something else to, a bracelet, whatever. It doesn't have to be that sad. And I think I'm just so grateful that I tried the cold cap this time.
Yeah.
And I'm even more grateful at how quickly my hair's come back. And before we started, I was saying to Jack, my eyelashes have come back really quickly this time. And I know that doesn't particularly have anything to do with the cold cap, but that is different for me this time as well. They just all of a sudden seemed to be back. And I was just, because I was laughing, I was saying to my daughter, how many have I got left? And she was counting them. She was like, "You've got 3.
Yeah.
Like it was like 2 on this side and 1 on that side or something like that. And then it seemed like no time at all. And I was like, "Alice, have you seen my eyelashes?"
Yeah.
And I closed my eyes and she was just like, "Oh my God, they've just come back like that." So that's That's been really nice for me, not to have to feel bogged down and dwelling on. And I suppose it's different for me because I'm a dab hand at this. Carry on now. But I do think it's important to share it with other people because we need to normalise these things because there's so much cancer now that can be treated.
Yeah.
But then we've got lovely options like this that can really help you keep your hair.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. And it's a bit of, for me, a big part is helping people to feel empowered, not just to scalp cool, but also to know that there's that option there and that they can if they want to. And if they try it and, like you say, it helps them feel zen or whatever, brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
But also if somebody tries it and they think, actually, do you know what? This isn't right for me. That's also okay.
Yeah.
And I met somebody a little while ago and she said, I feel really kind of let down in myself that I tried it and I didn't like it. And I'm like, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Like,
you tried it. It wasn't for you.
Yeah.
It's absolutely fine.
Yeah, exactly.
I think better to try it and make that decision than wonder. Because I did wonder the first time around and then I thought that I just make a snap decision and then, it could have been so different. But yeah, shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Exactly.
Is there anyone who's like should avoid it? Someone who's not an ideal candidate for it?
So in terms of contraindications, so where it's not suitable for use. So in patients with hematological malignancies, so blood disorders, because obviously we don't want to impede the blood flow.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be suitable. If somebody has a history of scalp metastases or if the presence of them is suspected, again, because theoretically we want full exposure to the chemotherapy drugs. There is no link between scalp cooling and scalp metastases. So we've done quite a few studies looking at them. But obviously if somebody has them, then it wouldn't be appropriate. If somebody has cold sensitivity, understandably, because it's cold. If for imminent skull irradiation and severe liver or kidney impairment from any etiology.
Wow.
And that's not so much a safety contraindication, it's more that their body may not be able to clear the chemotherapeutic agents from the blood. So scalp cooling wouldn't necessarily be effective in that instance.
That's really interesting. And what about children?
So at the moment, we're doing a lot of work with the TYA, Teenage and Young Adult cohort, and trying to raise awareness that it's suitable for them. There's lots of research and their illness type does tend to be slightly different. So again, there's kind of lots of research and lots at play there. They might have to have their treatment slightly slower, for example, which to help with any reactions, which might then elongate treatment time slightly. Then it might be slightly more difficult for them to tolerate the cold cap for such a long time. But generally in my kind of anecdotal experience, the ones who have worn the cap have done incredibly well and have been really positive about the fact that they had the chance to cold cap and they looked like them. Because I can't imagine being 20 or 21 or 18, 19 and being given this chattering news and then thinking, oh, actually, I might lose my hair. And that was the one thing that the one patient said to me. She said, I don't want to look sick. And a few months down the line now, she hasn't, and she's looking incredibly well. She's kept the majority of her hair. She sent me pictures. My mum sent me pictures of her on her 21st birthday, graduation, the university ball, and it was just like, yeah, that's nice. That's really lovely, and I got a lovely card when I finished, and it was like, do you know what? That's nice.
Yeah,
that's
so
why
important.
we do. That's why we do what we do.
Yeah.
What are the biggest myths around it? What are the things that people seem to misunderstand about what it's all about?
I think, again, people think it's going to be incredibly painful.
Right.
And like you were saying, it's different. We're all kind of individual people. And people think, oh my God, it's freezing my hair follicles. I'm going to be sitting there for hours upon hours. And you're not. It is, there is no getting away from the fact it is cryotherapy. It is cold. But actually, after that first 10 to 15 minutes, you're accustomed to it. You've acclimatized to it.
It's manageable. And I generally hate being cold. So I'd psyched myself up because I was like, I do not like to be cold. It's one of my real, when people say, would you rather be too hot or too cold?
Yeah.
I think I'd rather be too hot. Because,
too cold for me.
Well, loads of people say that because like, you can put clothes on, but when you're that cold, you're like, I just can't get warm. So with being like that, it was in my head a little bit more, well, I don't know if I'll be able to cope with this. So it was refreshing to manage it,
Yeah.
Unless I was just in the challenge accepted mode.
Yeah, come on. I'm ready for this. I'm ready.
I'm winning it. Capping.
Yeah, busting the cold.
In the ice bath next.
Yeah.
Well, I have gone in the North Sea, to be fair.
Wow.
And just a swimming suit.
Wow, yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
Brave.
But some people think I'm going to keep all of my hair.
Yeah.
And again, it's, like I've said, everybody's shedding is completely normal. But also some people may think if they have lost quite a lot of hair, it's not working, I might as well stop. I would always say, Paxman would always promote, try and keep going for regrowth and protecting the hair follicles so it keeps going. So it keeps protecting the hair follicles to benefit the regrowth and also mitigate the risk of PCIA as well, the persistent alopecia.
So can I ask then, how did you get into this?
So I used to be a teacher. Was a French and Spanish teacher for 13 years.
Wow.
I know. I've done my time in education.
Hero.
Yeah, I don't know. And I was sitting at, my son plays football. I was sitting at a training session, talking to one of the other parents, who also used to be a teacher, and who worked for Paxman. And we just got to having a conversation, and kind of bit by bit, I applied for one job with Paxman, didn't get it. Thanks. I applied for my second job with Paxman and started with Paxman last year during the summer holidays.
Lovely. See, it was meant to be then.
It was. And when I decided that I wanted to leave teaching, I kind of woke up one day and said to my husband, I can't go to school today.
Yeah.
I can't go to school. Mom, I'm not very well. I knew I wanted to do something that was important and that I felt like I was going to be making a bit of a difference, and I was going to be helping people, and I feel really blessed that I can do that I get to get up every morning and feel worthwhile, and that I'm even just a tiny little bit of a difference, because hair is incredibly important, but in the grand scheme of things, it's one element of somebody's journey. But if I can help in that tiny little moment, then it feels really powerful, and I feel really lucky.
I think that's beautiful, and I think what you're saying is so special, because when you're really not well, there's certain things that you zone in on, and if your hair has become the thing that you've really zoned in on, someone helping you to save that is probably one of the most important things to you during that time. And having young kids, you want the consistency of looking the same.
Yeah.
And that's important for them. So it's not just, you're not just helping that person, you're actually helping the entire family, because it's important how they see you as well is really, really important, because as we talked about earlier, the head to the side and all of that. There is room for that, of course.
Yeah.
But there's nothing better than feeling and looking like yourself when you're going through something that's just a bit shit.
Yeah.
And does it give you, I'm imagining it gives you a little bit of a sense of control, because you can do something about, or you can try to do something about a certain aspect.
Well, that's my thing. I need to be proactive all the time.
Doing something.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good element of what you can do. And even knowing that you've tried, rather than just, Alice said to me the other day, Mom, do some people just give up? She was like, I feel like you just never give up. I was like, oh, that's really nice. I was like, I think everybody tries. She was like, yeah, but you really try. Thanks for noticing.
You do. Well, you do. And I mean, it's evident, when you look at everything that you do on a day-to-day basis and running the charity, that's like a sort of breathing example.
I love
If
doing
you
all
just
this though.
putting your heart and your soul and your energy into something really meaningful for you and it's going to help other people.
I was really excited about today because I feel like it's so important, and I feel like people don't know enough. And like in North Tyneside unit, they're so lovely. You'd just been in and done a training session, and I came in for treatment and had 1,000,001 questions, and they were like, someone actually ran out to try and find you.
Oh, wow.
I was like, how lovely is that? But they were like, I can't answer your questions. I'm just going to run. I think it was Sasha. She was like, I'm just going to run and see if I can catch him. But you'd already gone. But then she called you and put us in contact. And I thought, that's huge. Like that in itself. And that's why it's so lovely to be able to share it with other people. Because like you said, not everybody's going to be in this situation. But even by listening to this, you can help someone else who might be in the situation where you can say, do you know what? I listened to this podcast. It wasn't for myself, but it's informative and it's really important.
With you saying about control, I was going to mention control, but it's when so many decisions are being made for you and you're being told this is going to happen and this is going to happen now, this is going to happen and you're going to do this and you're going to do this. Just being able to take that, okay, well, I'm going to cold cap because for me, it gives me a sense of not just identity, normality, privacy. It's I'm doing this for me and for my family, and I think that's
it's a choice.
It's a choice, and I'm making that choice actively. And I mentioned the hair preparation and the wetting the hair and the conditioning the hair. I'm a really kind of big advocate for encouraging people to do it themselves. Get your own hair wet, get your own hair conditioned, learn how to do it for yourself. And we've got a lot of how-to videos online, so people can go watch how to prepare their own hair, watch a video, this is what's going to happen on the first day of treatment. So it's that awareness and that making that choice, it makes it a really strong, powerful thing for me that I've made the decision and I'm really well informed and I know what's going to happen. And even if it doesn't look like I think it will, I'm going to give it a go.
Yeah.
So for anyone who's sitting, listening to the conversation and thinking, right, I feel like I might want to try it. What would you say to encourage them?
So have a look on coldcap.com because like I say, there's how-to videos on there. There's videos explaining the science of it. If you want to look at the science of it, there's videos telling you what to explain. Reach out to the hospital, speak to the hospital because they are the experts in this. Discuss it with them. What will it look like? What will the day look like? How will it fit in with scheduling and things like that? That's a really important consideration. And just reach out to local charities and I would say have a look. The patient materials that I showed you, they're downloadable, so people can download them and have a flick through there. So it's inform yourself.
Inform yourself.
Inform yourself. That's the big thing for me. And see if other people have gone through it, because obviously the cold cap, it gives a sense of privacy. So people quite often want to use it because they don't want to look sick. They don't want the world to know. They don't want to show the world that they're poorly. But then often people who did use it and who have used it will go, I used the cold cap. Look at my hair. I kept so much hair. So we'll kind of be a little bit secret about the diagnosis, understandably. But then when you open up the discussion, they'll be saying, oh my God, I used it.
Yeah.
Use it.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
So it sounds as though get yourself informed.
Yeah.
Don't make the assumption that it's going to take hours and hours and hours on top of already when you've got to go in for your appointment. Don't assume that it's going to really hurt because it's going to feel uncomfortable. But
10 to 15 minutes.
And then you'll just acclimatise as it were.
Definitely,
And there's a real potential that you've got, even though the results aren't guaranteed necessarily, but there's a real potential that you could either keep some of your hair or support the health of the regrowth later on.
Exactly. That's it. And you've summed it up then.
Right. Amazing.
Fabulous.
So is there anything else you would say to people as someone who's used it?
Yeah. I would definitely say give it a go. Like,
give it a try.
Yeah. And exactly what Jack has said, read up on it, empower yourself with that knowledge, and then just give it a try. And then that's on you to say, well, I tried it.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely fine if it wasn't for you, but if it is, it might work. And look at this.
Exactly.
Also, it feels a little bit like you've got nothing to lose and potentially a lot to gain.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a really
And exactly
big thing.
as you say, look at this.
Look at my locks.
Look at this.
Exactly.
How does it feel to you now? Because you look
Oh,
like
it's
you've
like
got a
baby
gorgeous little
hair.
pixie cut. Yeah. How's it feel?
It feels really nice. And I think I go about now feeling like nobody knows I was sick. Do you know what I mean? And I was wearing wigs and they were just so hot.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know, I think even the kids and my husband encouraging me to just not wear the wig. And I'm buzzing about it, actually.
Yeah.
It's just really nice for me.
Yeah.
And
does it feel strong? Like if you kind of grab it, yeah.
well, it just feels like baby hair. But it does feel
Right,
strong.
yeah.
But it's like thicker.
Right.
Yeah. Do you want to have a feel?
I do. Ooh, I love it. Oh, does it feel so soft?
Doesn't it?
It feels so soft.
So,
So
yeah,
what are
it
your
does.
hair goals from now?
I don't know. We'll just see how it goes. I'll go into Chelsea to say why do I look like a Lego man. That's where we're aiming.
Yeah. Quite a few of my Paxman colleagues are people who have used the cap,
Right.
and they've used it and gone, actually, do you know what? I need to share this
Yeah.
Right.
with other people, and I need to really help spread this out.
Mhm.
And I think that's really powerful. That
Yeah.
it came from family. It came from a dark place. The Paxman family invented ice bank beer coolers in the 1950s and 60s. Generations of refrigeration experience. And Sue Paxman was diagnosed with cancer in the 1990s and was told to put frozen peas on her head because it stopped the chemotherapy from burning the hair follicles. Now we know that's not how it works.
Yes.
And Glenn Paxman thought, hang on, I know refrigeration. Maybe I can do something about this.
Wow.
And it's grown from strength to strength because the family saw the trauma of Sue losing her hair. The family's still rich. The CEO still runs the company, and Claire, director of global training, still so passionate about changing the face of cancer and supported as many people because they know what it feels like, and they know how it feels. Claire talks about cutting her mum's hair with the orange handled scissors that we've all got in our kitchen drawer and cutting that off because the hair was falling out, and actually how that's spurred the family on to actually know we can improve the lives of people, and hundreds of thousands of people have used the cold cap.
Yeah, and benefited from.
And benefited
And
from
when
it.
it comes from experience within the family,
Yeah.
I just think that fills your heart as well, doesn't it? It just,
It says so much. Yeah. It says so much. And the fact that your colleagues or people that have used it, they're like, hang on a minute. More people need to know about it.
More people need to know about this. There's an incredible lady in Spain who she works out of Spain, ex-patient, incredible head of hair. She'll thank me for that. And, she goes into hospitals and says, look, I had it. It works.
mm-hmm.
It can work. And we're in 64 countries now, across the world. 98% of NHS and private hospitals in the UK. So it's
fabulous.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's really, really encouraging. It's obviously growing. And awareness must be growing.
Yes, definitely.
And hair is growing.
Yes, of course. Everything,
Everything's growing.
Everything's growing. Everything's growing. But we were saying I've been in Northumberland this week. So I've been at Berwick, Alnwick, North Tyneside. I'm going to Hexham and Wansbeck. They've just expanded their provision for scalp cooling now. So with new systems, new caps, it is, very much growing. And it's just been able to support as many people across the world as we can. That's the really big goal for Paxman.
And it's great if we can get it out to Sarah Star and help people within our community as well.
Definitely.
I'm really, really glad you came on, Jack.
Oh, I am as well. I was so nervous.
No.
I was so nervous beforehand.
It's been
Why?
brilliant.
Well, I've never done anything like this before, and like I was saying, how am I going to suck my tummy in for an hour, and my chins, how am I going to cope? But yeah, it's been a really good experience. My cheeks are hurting now.
Well, I feel really well educated now.
Oh, good.
So thank you
Good.
for all of that. And actually, for the rest of this series, we're going to have similar types of conversations because we really want to help anyone who's in this sort of scenario, where you are facing illness, to understand some more tools like this, things that have really made a practical impact for you. So there's
help
tons
lead
more.
a sense of normality.
Yeah. So important.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much.
No, thank you for inviting
Thank
me.
you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Take 2 minutes, guys. Take 2 minutes.
And have a look. I'm
I nearly did a Nikki.
Here she is. Here she is.
She's not giving up.
Yeah.
No, I'm shining.